Hello and welcome to the final module of this course. Till date, you have learned a lot of theory and fundamentals behind selecting the right stocks. Now, let us actually buy the first stock. 4 things that you will learn. The first thing is how many different types of orders are there while placing your stocks. Second is, should we practice before investing real money? Sounds obvious, right? Let's understand that. Third, how do we open a brokerage account and how do we actually trade? Fourth, key questions to keep in mind before you actually place the first order. The first type of market order is a standard order, which is the order placed at the current price of the stock. So when you place an order at a stock price that you see on the screen, say a stock price of rupees 100, the order gets placed and the stock gets bought at that 100 rupees price. In this kind of a market order, the disadvantage is that sometimes the order gets executed with a delay. So in case of rupees 100 as the stock price, the order might actually be bought at either 150 or 90 rupees, plus or minus to the actual price of the stock. Hence, in a market order, the investors really don't have control of the order price at which the order gets bought at. But not to worry, this phenomenon hardly ever happens because the exchanges and the brokers that you deal with have highly sophisticated technology and extremely fast order execution times. So the order actually gets placed at the price that's shown on the screen. Market orders are usually used by investors who want to buy the stock immediately and who are not doing intraday or are not betting on the stock price moving within the next few hours. When stocks are bought for a long term and with a long term perspective of say 6 to 10 months, it doesn't really matter if the order gets executed at 100 rupees or 90 rupees or 110 rupees. So a market order, in summary, is the order that is a standard order that is placed at a price that is the market price of the stock. The second type of order is the limit order. A limit order is the order that is placed at a particular limit of the stock price. So for instance, say there is a ABC stock at rupees 50. Now you want to buy that stock at rupees 45. So you put a limit order of that stock at rupees 45. The order only gets executed when the stock reaches that limit price. Now in this case, what is the disadvantage? The disadvantage is that sometimes the stock might actually reach a price of say 46 rupees and then end up moving up to 100 rupees. In this case, it never touches really the rupees 45 limit order price that you have placed in the system. What happens in such a case is you lose a profit of 55 rupees just because you placed a limit order of being insistent to buy the stock at 45 rupees. So limit orders are placed when you know for sure that the order price is going to hit a certain kind of price, that you want it executed at that price, and then you can move away from your system and go about doing your daily job, and the order gets placed when the stock actually hits that price. The next kind of order is a stop order. Now remember, we had spoken about this concept of placing a stop loss. A stop loss is actually putting a price at which you will either sell that stock which you had held and you had booked the losses in case the stock is falling, or the vice versa. So stop order helps you maintain your stop losses. Let's understand how. Say you want to buy a stock you want to buy 20 shares, you have bought 20 shares at 100 rupees each. Then you go on a holiday and you forget about that stock. Then the stock price goes down and reaches say 95 rupees. You have placed a stop limit order at 95 rupees. That means that your stock will be sold whenever the stock price reaches 95 rupees. This is done because you want to control your losses. This is maintaining a stop loss. So you are saying that whatever happens, if my stock price reaches 95 rupees and if I have to book a loss, I will book a loss no more than 5 rupees. So the order gets executed as soon as the stock price reaches 95 rupees. This is placed when you are sure that the stock is actually going to move upwards, but in the unlikely event of it moving downwards, you want to limit the downward losses of that stock and sell it at certain price which you have decided for yourself. That is the amount of loss that you can take in your portfolio. This is a very helpful tool to maintain and control your losses. And it is used mostly in markets which are highly volatile, where the movement of stocks is highly volatile and it is quite unpredictable, and in those cases you place stop orders. An example of such a highly volatile market is the recent one, which is of cryptocurrencies. Now, stop limit order is a order very similar to the stop loss order. What happens is, you say for instance you buy 20 shares at 100 rupees each, and you have placed a stop order price at 95 rupees. Now, here you can define the exact price at which the order gets executed. In the earlier case, what happens is, anytime the order goes below 95 rupees, it can be executed at any price. So in case of a market crash event, when the stock prices are falling drastically, then when the order of that stock or the price of that stock goes below 95, it can get executed at 90 rupees, 89 rupees, maybe even 80 rupees if the crash is extremely powerful, or if there are many more sellers in the market. In a case of a stop limit order, the order gets executed at the particular price that you put in the system. So if you define that below 95 you want the order to be executed at 93 rupees only, then your stock will only be sold at 93 rupees, not at 80 rupees or 92 rupees. Again, a powerful mechanism to control your losses. However, this kind of an order option is not given mostly in online brokerage systems, because it is assumed that a stop loss order will get triggered and the order will get executed at 95 or below 95. This stop limit order is only really helpful in case of extreme events of market crashes or a bubble where it moves so fast that it's very difficult to control the price of the stock. This is not really an option that is provided, but this is for your knowledge that this kind of order can exist in the system. Now, a trailing stop loss order is very similar to the previous stop orders that we have seen, except that here the price is defined in terms of a percentage change instead of the absolute price change. So for instance, if there is a stock that is bought at 100 rupees and if you have defined a 10% trading stop order, then the order gets executed when the share price reaches 90 rupees. In another case, if your stock is at 120 rupees and if you have defined a 10% trading stop loss, then the order gets executed when the share price reaches 108 rupees. So what happens is, instead of defining the actual absolute value of price, now you're saying that I will take a 10% stop loss for throughout the time of trading the share. So I do not have to reset the price every time. So whatever the share price may be, if it may move up, if it goes up from 100 to 120 to then 500 rupees, as soon as it falls 10% below this price, then the trading stop loss order gets executed. Thus, obviously, this is a much more effective way to control your losses as compared to the other previous orders where you have absolute price change that you have to enter for a stop loss to trigger.